those things that shockingly was very affordable. Traveling to Europe, I found, like I applied for the University of Deusto in Bilbao, Spain, and it was twice as much as my trip to Costa Rica for the same extended period of time and same credits. And so that right there was a huge deciding factor for me. Paying literally less than half as much as it would cost to travel to Spain and any other European country for that matter was a huge factor. And the Spanish immersion in Costa Rica is 2 times that of traveling to Spain or even Mexico because of the lack of American influence on the suburbs of the cities, which is where we're staying and attending schools.
But for us, we go to America because this has the best research. I mean, international students, we have good research in our country, but the funding is not that much. I mean, still this country gives the maximum funding for research in graduate level and PhD level. So, I mean, take a country like, for example, England. England also has a funding, but England's funding is maybe less. For example, if America can support 100 students funding, England can just support 10 students, so the opportunity becomes more diverse there. Same thing about Russia. If you go to Russia, they don't have that much funding for international students. At master's level, you have to pay your own cost. But once you can do a good research in this country, the professor himself gives the funding from his own salary. So that's actually a great opportunity. So for us, it's not only tasting the American culture, it's like basically involving in research with the community and just getting a part of it. Because I think it has a very high quality research, and most of the people, like particularly we Indians, respect a lot about the research particularly going on in this country, because the research are not only done by Americans, this country has a maximum number of people from all international sites. So you can see in America, people from Iran, people from India, people from China, Australia, anywhere is doing research. It might not have to be an American. They can be all over.
During my undergraduate study, I do lots of research on the go abroad studies because that is one of my dreams. So I want to have a different experience in go to America to have some study there, and I would do lots of research on study abroad. For example, I will check out the GRE test and the TOEFL test and fill lots of films to complete the application. And it is not easy because English is not our first language, so the biggest problem is the GRE test. The math part is really easy for our Chinese, but the verbal part is difficult, I think. And when you go through those tests, you will have a lot of application form, and you will have the recommendation letters and resume and personal statement for application.
So about how hard it was to get there. It was really hard. I mean, the study abroad website was great, like it had a lot of opportunities listed. However, the opportunities were kind of difficult to sort through sometimes because most of them were for a year. I don't know why everyone thinks everyone needs to go to Japan for a year. It's kind of weird. But the semester ones are really difficult. And it was particularly difficult because UNL's study abroad office last year had a huge rehaul of staff. So the woman who was going to arrange my study abroad disappeared off the face of the planet. So I would say as far as information available, UNL is really great, but as far as actually being able to talk to someone who knows what they're doing, it could be better. In particular, a lot of the study abroad offices don't communicate with one another very well. So for example, I had a file with the study abroad office from fall of last year, and when I went back in the spring, the woman who had the file had left and they just gotten rid of her files. So they didn't actually have my file anymore, so I had to create a brand new one. So, I mean, the information's out there, but it's kind of, You got to find it yourself and then bring it to the study abroad office. They're not going to help you very much.
Well, I think that with other countries, so with a lot of people wanting to come to the U.S. to study, it's more of a priority on kind of getting ahead of the world. And in this day and age, often getting ahead in the world means being well versed in America, being fluent in English and in American business policies. While for us, there's more of an emphasis on diversity and understanding these other populations that we have to interact with in the world. So there are more options for us and more encouragement to seek out other cultures.
In Czech Republic, we are part of the European Union, and one of the initiatives of European Union is the Erasmus program, which is basically studying abroad in any university that's part of that program. And like entire Europe, like I think part of Russia too is part of that.
And another reason, probably I think a bigger reason for a lot of Chinese kids to come to the United States to study is that is a better education. You know, you have a lot of thousands of university. You know, you can choose, and then you chose the one that fits you the best. And then they come to the States and study in the university. After that, they get a bachelor's degree or, you know, a master's degree, whatever. And in the end, after achieving those degrees, they go back to China or whatever. It is a lot easier for them to seek for jobs and stuff like that. So I think that was probably a bigger reason.
You and me, what I said was I never meant to hurt. Real stories always come off words. Can we make the time to leave it behind and reshape, remake our faith in what we see? How you feel so